Good morning. It's Monday, February 3rd, 2025. Kicking off the new month here. I'm looking at NQ right here. What do I see? I see trouble in paradise. Excuse me. At the end of last week, this is Friday, market was up 300 points, ended down about 50 or so, then huge gap down, all the indices gap down. Trump has implemented tariffs. I think they go into effect on Tuesday. Mexico, China, and Canada. Markets clearly don't like that for now. So I have all these fibs on here and everything. Let's go to daily. Right. This larger time frame fib is still intact. So, today I'm looking out for a push either up into the 353 area or maybe we come back down. But, market has recovered nicely because we were down like almost 700 points at the open, right? This huge gap. So we filled this gap on Friday, and then we came in. I'm thinking maybe this week we fill this gap at some point, but I'm done predicting. I'm done predicting. My goal this week, I'm giving myself 1 week to get through this 50K trading combine. So heading into next week, we can start working towards payouts. So what I've observed while doing some back testing over the weekend was that when this 825 candle closes red or green, there's a high probability on a 5-minute chart. High probability there's going to be follow through in whatever direction this candle closes in. So if heading into 830, this candle closes red, we go short. If this 825 Central Time, of course, candle closes green, we go long. But tons of volatility injected. You look at this. This is the heat map daily performance. Markets are down, obviously. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. But, so this is red, right? So let's go ahead and stop's going to be here. Let's give it a little space. Move it in a little bit. Remember, this is the 200 level, right? So they're either buying 200 or selling it. Major level right here. See what happens. By default, I have bracket orders, 100 ticks or plus 200 ticks. So we'll see what happens. Okay. You know, it's funny, I was thinking about taking that trade-off down here because, you know, market pushed up, pushed up, pushed up, pushed up. I'm looking at these wicks, came down, pushed up again. So that's something to keep an eye on moving forward. We'll see though, right? We got like this whole area, obviously, of kind of resistance. Here's the high at 270. So we'll see what happens. Bigger picture, I mean, this is big gap up and then chopping. So see what happens. Just trying to be patient. Selling it. $74 ticks. The reason I did that, my toss setup here. We came in, this is a trailing stop on a 5-minute chart, these purple dots. Price loves to come up and either tap the trailing stop and come in, or break out just above it and come in, or get close and then reverse. So we'll see what happens here. Trying to remain calm. And then of course we have this. So obviously a huge squeeze. We do have a curved, the 8-period moving average is above the 21. That leans bullish. That leans bullish. VIX is at 18. Gold is flying. Oil came in. Probably wiping out a lot of people right now, oil. That's interesting. See what the Dow's doing. Dow is pushing to the upside. So yeah, I gotta be careful here. Gotta be careful here. So yeah, you know, we took it off. What I'm trying to do with this combine is treat it as if it is a funded account, right? And so if this was a funded account, I may have taken this trade off in the morning, or rather, I may have taken that opening trade off when it got down to this area and taken the $400 or $500. Okay, had I done that, then the P&L would look different, right? It would have been 800 plus right now, and then I could potentially be done for the day. Do need to change my risk settings here because on a 50K combine, we cannot make more than 50% of the profit target in one day. 50% of 3,000 is $1,500. So I changed that to 1520 to give us a little wiggle room. So yeah, I mean, we could be chopping around here. We could try another long. Stops here. Give it a shot. We'll keep it at 100 ticks. If this breaks, you know, it could break pretty hard. Let's see if we can get up to 300. Again, you see me take that off. First of all, I just want to say that these morning videos for the rest of February are for Nathan. They might be going on YouTube. I might say we, I might say you, but the goal of this video is for me to vocalize my trades, my executions, how I'm seeing the market. And I will share that last Friday was awful. Last Friday, there were lessons that I was reminded about. The first lesson, the market is going to humble you. The second, your ego takes over. The market will humble your ego. Another lesson, it's important to have guardrails in place to protect yourself. One of those guardrails for me, wow. So before I continue here, we were in this. This is a lesson. Trust what you see in price. We entered that at 242. We got it to 290, almost, trying to push it to 300. Great trade. We could have still been in it. Could have still been in it. Now the question is, do we want to enter? We broke the all-time highs. Do we want to enter on a pullback of the next candle? Yeah, I think that's a yes. 300. We just hit 300, 305. Major fib level at 355. Look, that's a great opening candle right there. We're going to trade what we see. We're going to trade what we see. It's 840. Lots of space to move up. See if we can get into this area, and then we'll buy one. Yeah, we're in the area. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a continuation. Looking for a continuation to the upside. Now, in theory, this stop has to go lower, down, like down here, right? Below this candle. And I'm okay taking that risk with the way we pushed up here with this candle. I'm expecting price to, continue pushing up. So lessons from last week, I lost 2 funded accounts, and that downfall happened overnight, Thursday night. I had rules in place where I trade the New York session, and I traded overnight. My kids were around, I'm trading, I'm losing. And then I began over leveraging, and I really acted like a huge asshole. It was very immature, unprofessional. I lost control of my trading and my emotions. And that simply cannot happen. If there's any chance of prolonged success in this field, in this career, I have to practice discipline, and that never stops. There's never a day while trading where the discipline can wane. It just simply cannot. It simply cannot. Can't happen. Because the second the discipline dissipates, the market kicks us in the teeth. One way to avoid that and help make discipline easier, put simple rules in place. A simple rule is trading hours. I talked about this on a podcast episode recently. Trading hours. I followed my trading hours. That is a huge win. That is a win. It's a win. It's a win. I followed my trading hours. Great. That's a win. It's a win. That's being disciplined. That is winning. That is winning. It'd be nice to get one more push up here. We're into this gap, obviously. We're hanging in, trying to hang in. Not looking great. Let's see what happens in this last, minute. And then another thing I was reminded about that's important, and that's a lesson, is that there's a hangover. When we break our rules and we're not disciplined, there is a hangover effect, meaning you lose a funded account. Well, now you're in this headspace of like, oh God, like, why did I do that, right? And you're questioning your trading, you're regretting your actions. And then you're thinking about the money that was lost. You're thinking about the timeline and how long it took to get to where you were. For me, it took the entire month of January to get to where I was. I was about to get a payout last Friday. All I needed was to make $200, and then I could have gotten thousands of dollars in a payout. And then I blew it. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So this is not what we want to see, obviously. We need to close below the 8-period moving average, and then probably just need to take a step back and just watch what price wants to do. I mean, yeah, this is ugly. This is really ugly. Same thing as like earlier, right? We were in profit, could have taken it. This looked heavy, and I didn't take it off. Look at this. God damn. Ugh. Horrible, dude. Horrible. My God. Okay, there it is. Wow. You know, not the most bullish thing you've ever seen, is it? We're down 370 points still. Let's see where this candle closes. This candle closes, then we got to wait for a push back up, and then we can go short. But my goodness, this is interesting price action. I'll put it that way. It's really easy to want to go long here, you know, but with the bounce, I was almost going to move my stop below 200, and you know maybe we could have gotten some back in that trade. But I don't want to trade the P&L. Don't want to do that. So something that's very important, a few things here. Number one, watching price for a period of time, letting letting price settle in, especially 20 minutes into the open on a Monday with all the volatility that's going on, the huge gap down over the weekend. Let price settle in a little bit. That's important. Be patient. Then number two, we don't have to trade every day. And I think back to last week on that Thursday night, I had no business trading, let alone losing the two funded accounts that I worked 2 weeks on. 2 weeks wiped out in a few hours. I didn't even I didn't have to trade. I didn't have to trade last Friday. I could have taken last Friday off and came into the market this morning. Or I don't even have to be trading now. You know, like you don't have to trade every day. That goes back to being patient, understanding understanding when you should be trading and when you shouldn't, basically. This is a very strong close below the 8-period moving average. Okay, we're going to go ahead and sell it. Sell it. This has to come all the way up here. Stops above there, sell it. Let's see how far down we can go here. Now, this does look like it's making kind of like a, you know, like it wants to go higher, but man, oh man, all the way up, push, push. Now we're back into this range, right? Do we pop or do we drop? I would love to see prices continue drifting lower. And then we drag our price, we drag our stop loss down. It's a trailing stop type of situation. On a 5-minute chart, we trail the stop down. That's what I would like to see. Now, normally this is high probability. Normally this is high probability though. This meaning this push up, there's going to be further movement to the upside. That didn't happen. We came straight down, right? We came straight down. Price is hanging in there at that was one. This is 195. So funded accounts. first of all, okay, let's talk about funded accounts for a second. Number one, funded accounts completely warp the perception of money. Warp it. Number two, different size funded accounts, right? The good thing about a 150K account, you have $4,500 in drawdown, so you have more room, but it's more money up front compared to a 50K account, less drawdown, less money up front. What you don't want to do when you're getting into funded accounts and trading prop firms is you don't want to spend thousands of dollars, thousands just to pass. Okay, you definitely don't want to be doing that type of thing. This worries me right here, this bounce. Gotta see that break. I mean, we're trading pretty deep, getting deeper into, there we go. Okay, that's cool. I like that. I like that. Now I'm simply being patient, okay? I'm being patient. Nathan, we're being patient. We want to trail this. That's the plan. We can start now, trail it. Okay, we trailed it to, oops, I just moved my FEB to the top of this candle. We trailed it. Now we're risking 150 ticks, okay? See how low we can go. 175. We got down to 175, a nice little pocket of buyers right there. Down there at 175, pocket of buyers. Pushing it up, pushing it up, pushing it up. Okay, ooh, 855, lots of vol here, lots of vol. So look at that freaking price going crazy. Whenever I look back, and this is important, whenever I look back while I'm back testing and the markets are closed, and I'm doing, replaying the bars on a 5-minute, I see moves, and it's very clear that the market is moving in one direction, and you talk through hypothetical trades, and you say, okay, had we taken this trade on a 5-minute chart using the 8-period moving average, which is what I use, and we trailed the 5-minute chart, 5-minute time frame, just trail the stop, oh, look, this trade would have been 100 points, this trade would have been 40 points, etc., etc. So I'm really trying to be patient here. Really trying to be patient. Because I know that what price typically does on a 5-minute chart. It's just when the markets are live and we're looking at the markets, like right now, it's like, oh my gosh, fear, fear, fear. Is this going to stop me out? Oh no, it might stop me out, etc., etc. But the reality is, price has not stopped us out. And if it does, it should be okay because we have predefined risk. Okay, my risk is 150 ticks. We know that price can come down and back up. And if it breaks this, fine. Maybe it wants to go higher, but my stop is above there. That's fine. Price can also come all the way back in and go lower here. And that's the setup that I'm looking for. Looks like we're going to get stopped out. So another important lesson that I thought of deeply the last few days is this idea of being a scalper. All right, being a scalper. Because of exactly what has happened at the open here thus far for me. Every trade that I entered was in profit at one point. Every single trade was in profit. Every single one. This really pushed below. It went right above the 8 and pushed lower. All right, interesting. So we push above the 8. Can this level hold? We will see. But anyways, scalping is probably the smartest way to trade to beef up a funded account, or and certainly to pass a funded challenge, a funding challenge. Scalp. Had I scalped these trades, I would have made $1,500 already, which is the goal for today. And I've done the exact opposite because there's lots of volatility, right? We're trading in a range, et cetera, et cetera. But if you scalp, you can scalp in any market environment and make money. That's what's great about scalping. That's what's great about scalping. Works in any market environment. Take your money, you get out. Okay, we're approaching 9 a.m. Central. I'm thinking price wants to make a pretty big move here. Look at that. Look at that. Right back down to this level, right back up. Look at how fast this is moving. Now, there is news, economic news. 8:45, that came out. Manufacturing PMI. Right now we have construction spending, manufacturing number. Okay, so there's more news that's coming out. Great. This broke lower again. Okay, again, I have no space to do anything here. Let's go to the micros. I have literally like $150 to play with now. That was an accident. Good morning. Good, how are you? You know, something tells me this isn't gonna bounce. Flush, flush, flush. Nice. See, scalping, look, $70, $15, wonderful. I want to get this to the micro contract. Henry stayed in. Ooh, yeah, see, there it goes. It's making a move. It's making a move. Broke out of the range. Still got to trade a micro. Okay, look, this was the range. Where's price? Broke below it. It can push back in. That's fine. It's at the bottom of the range. That's fine. But is price really going to push all the way back up here and go higher? Does not look like it wants to do that, in my opinion. Squeezing. Everything is extremely red. Okay. So yeah, let's see. Let's see what price wants to do this candle. Then we can see if we get a little pullback and we can go short. Price doesn't exactly look like it wants to pop here, guys. Let's see how high it wants to pull back here. Okay, there's that trailing stop. Whoa. That's 200. Right here is 200. Man, 2,000 ticks. 87 ticks on a micro contract. That's what I'm working with here. I'd love to see this move lower. Maybe now we'll get the type of trade where we can trail a stop, potentially. You know, if this goes lower, just trail a 5-minute. Or, you know, the other option too, we put our stop a little higher and just keep trailing it and see if price can break or just stay below the 8-period moving average. And then we close. If and when price closes above the 8-period moving average, that's another option. So yeah, talking more about lessons and scalping. Scalping is a really great way to beef up a funded account. It's a great way to pass prop firm challenges, because at the end of the day, we're buying drawdown. And clearly, so this is a 2K drawdown on this account. I mean, I have next to nothing to work with now. Again, had I just scalped, I'd be done for the day with this account. And that's the goal. It's just the goal needs to be pass the challenge. The goal needs to be acquire, for Top Step, acquire 5 days of $200 or more. You know, the goal isn't, oh, like let's follow our technical analysis perfectly and see what happens. Yeah, it's important to follow a plan, but this is a challenge. You need to pass the challenge. You need to pass the challenge. You need to get the days of winning to get the payouts. That's what's important. And you know, a lesson here is, it's one thing that I dislike about prop firms is that it forces you. And yeah, you know, some may look at this as a good thing, but the prop firms force you to trade in a certain way. I don't think price is going to break above this level. I really don't. I'm selling another one. Let's see what happens here, guys. Nathan, let's see what happens. Do I think we're going to make a, you know, a new low? Maybe not, but we're just trading below the 8-period moving average here. So that's what I'm looking at. And for the really skilled traders, who can look, you know, understand the macro environment and price action and economics involved, for those who can say, this is a great day to be trading, or this is not a good day to be trading, all this stuff, you know, then you can choose a strategy. I'm not quite there yet. I'll admit that, and that's okay. I'm still learning, you know. But see, this looks really great to just continue falling, or at least to stay below the 8-period moving average. Stay below the 8-period moving average and just drift lower and lower and lower from here until, you know, sellers really step in, and then price moves aggressively to the downside. Is kind of what I anticipate could happen here. $17 ticks profit no matter what in this trade now. So going back to the lesson on the hangover, when we when we don't follow our trading rules. For example, last Thursday night, I broke my rule of, my trading hours. I traded outside of my trading hours. I broke that rule. And then the mind goes down a rabbit hole. And it's a very unhealthy. I question myself. Like, why would I act in that way? Why would I consciously give up thousands and thousands of dollars that I had ready to be withdrawn from a funded account? So there is this concept of an upper limit. Okay, upper limit. And upper limit, I'm going to open up a new window here and kind of look this up so I can explain it. There's this author, his name is Gay Hendricks. All right, he wrote about this in his book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Upper limit problem, a psychological phenomenon that occurs when people subconsciously limit their own success, happiness, and personal growth. It can manifest itself in many ways, including anxiety, mistrust, and sabotaging opportunities. So I highly recommend the book by Gay Hendricks. The Big Leap is what it's called. Highly recommend that book. On Thursday, it's like I hit a wall. It's like I hit an upper limit. My upper limit, I was doing so well for 2 weeks. I was getting payouts. And then sabotage, not following my rules. And then after that happens, an important lesson here is that after we act in that type of way, there's I'm calling it a hangover effect. There's a hangover where the miscues and the lack of discipline and the acting in a way that is self-harmful, harmful to the trading account and unhealthy, continues. It continues for a certain amount of time, for however long. I don't know why, but I've noticed that that happens to me. So I lost the funded accounts on Thursday night. Friday was horrible in terms of trading. Then I had the weekend. Now we're back here Monday, and even today, like this. I'm recording this right now. Look at this account. Not looking great. Not looking great. I do think there's a good opportunity here to maybe size up, though. So that's the micro contract. I'll keep that on. Let's see what we can get here on a full size, if we can get one more push lower here. We don't have a lot of room, so we gotta be careful. Down to 130. Down to 130. We'll sell it. Yeah, I'm pulling up my stop because this is the game here. Something else to note that I've been thinking deeply about, there's no Super Bowl in trading. There's no Super Bowl. Okay, there's not one day that's more important than the next. Every day needs to be the same in terms of our process, in terms of our system. It should be very similar. It should be very similar. We have to stay steady in all of that. Stay steady. It's really the only way that we are gonna, stand even the slightest chance of making it in trading. Okay, I've been talking about scalping an awful lot here. Gotta follow through on what I'm talking about. Okay, on that micro contract, this is the micro, okay? So I scalped that, $125 on NQ. This could really flush still. I wanted to move that stop. Had I stayed in, where did I get out? I got out at 124. We're at 120. This does not look like it wants to move up, does it? At this point, I want a better entry. I want to see if we can get back up to this area somewhere. Get a nice push up. But I do think we'll probably stay below the 8 for a while here. I just didn't have this. I'm still in the micro contract. Still in the micro contract, way down here. May as well just pull that all the way through. So that's a great trade. 341 ticks, 349 had shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? Like if it was a full size, then this account would have been in a way better position. Had I stayed in this trade and just moved my stop to break even, would have been in a great position. 9:20 a.m. 9:20 a.m. See what happens. Okay, so just to kind of reiterate, like the trailing stop strategy. And a close, you're looking for a close above the 8-period moving average. So had we gone short here, stops here, trail a stop, right? This is a swing high, so trail a stop here. There's ways to trail a stop, but we're clearly staying below the 8-period moving average. So if we did do a trailing stop type strategy, the stop would be at 144. As of right now, we're so close to here. We're so close to just dropping this. Looks like we want to drop it. How aggressive do we want to be is the question. Let's see. I'd like to see this come up. I'd like to see this push higher. But man, this really does look like it wants to flush, doesn't it? Whoop. Whoop. Ooh, wow, that is aggressive. Holy cow. Wow. My goodness. Wow. You don't see this very often. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Don't see that very often. Okay, so could go in with another micro contract. If this closes above the 8, then we can go long. But price is moving super fast here. Super, super fast. That was wild. Man. Extremely volatile. Extreme. Wow. Yeah, this is looking good for a push back up. This is looking good for a push back up. I'd love to take this. Only a 500 in a drawdown, right? So let's see where this candle closes. See if we can get a pull back in and then push back up. But man. So one of two things can happen here, of course. Well, you know, we could either chop around. I guess there's three things. But we make a, so here's the high. We make a lower high and continue down. This is kind of weird. There's 0 wicks down here. And more we push, then we just push, 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 push. And we close the freaking gap today. Like, you know, like nothing would surprise me at this point. All I know is that price is aggressively moving higher. Aggressive. This is aggressive for sure. Yeah, wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. We just broke the high of the day. Just broke the high of the day. Huh. Wow. We're in the 300s. 100, over 100 points in less than 5 minutes. I mean, that's crazy. Isn't it? We could trail a 1 minute, you know? We could trail a 1 minute. Let's give it a shot. I mean, if this comes in, then, you know, the account's toast. This is a level. Fuck. Yeah, this is toast, y'all. There it is. Ineligible. Okay, so with this level here, all right, see how the market got me excited there? I jumped in. But what about this level? If this is a level that I'm using in my technical analysis, then I need to wait. I need to wait and see how price reacts at this level. How is price reacting? We went into it and we rejected. Now we could, you know, pull back and push through that level, but for the time being, we push in and we reject. Okay, so long story short, I need to be better. My goal for February is to continue the months of payouts. We've gotten payouts November, December, January. I want to continue getting payouts. And so that's the goal for this month. I'm going to use this week to get a funded account. And then 3 weeks working on building up the funded accounts to get payouts before we leave. So on a 5 minute, right? Now, This is a good stop down here at 21,284.25. I made multiple mistakes on that last trade. First of all, I was trading a 1 minute. I don't execute on a 1 minute. I don't want to be trading on a 1 minute. Why the hell did I execute a trade on the 1 minute time frame? The second thing is on a 5 minute, okay, we see a push up into this level, just like on the 1 minute, but a key level is the lesson, right? Here's a key Fibonacci level. We push up, we're rejecting. So we have to wait for price to react, and then we can decide yes or no, execute a trade, yes or no. That goes back to being patient. It goes back to following your plan, using your tools, not rushing into trades. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.